She sits in her carriage now and looks like she doesn't fit.
Do you need any water or anything?
I got tea right here. Thanks.
I didn't even notice.
Molly must look funny on Rainy by now.
Yeah. She does look a little funny on Rainy.
Actually, she looks wonderful. She's gotten so stretchy.
No. I am not. Wait. Boy, I could shut those doors, couldn't I? Yeah.
That is an option. But I'm not one to disturb other people's households.
Oh. Well, I appreciate that. I think I might. Oh, if you see Clara, can you remind her to leave Maddox in? If I see her first, I will yell at her.
I don't know who Clara is.
She's the tall, brown-haired girl.
Probably got some.
Well, she probably won't come in here. Things don't go on very far.
I don't know who Maddox is either.
Hey, Kathy, if you see Clara, will you tell her to leave Maddox in?
I'm sorry?
If you see Clara, will you tell her to leave Maddox in? And Italy. Where are you going? Why didn't you just move?
He says I'm going AWAY.
Why am
Away.
Why am I walking?
You know what my shithead does? He picks his leg up and stomps it fly and then puts it forward.
He crawls.
And then he picks up the other leg and stomps fly. He can get 3 or 4 steps away and think I don't notice. Like, guess what I notice, asshole? Obviously, you got the message that Paul and Sally are on the road home.
Yeah, they said they're supposed to be getting a lot of nasty snow and
Mushy,
rain.
4 to 5 inches. I heard Randy told them 9 inches, and they said they would have just stayed, but they
And
can't get
normally
anybody
I
to
would
do chores.
dismiss what Randy says, but he does keep pretty good tabs on the weather because he
Yeah.
has to drive for the pig farms
Yeah.
up by Mason City and stuff. So they keep pretty good.
Can you make
tabs
sure
on
the
it.
wires in your?
Oh.
It's making a running horse noise. I don't know why it's making running.
Maybe this
There.
thing's rubbing
No,
off.
you got it. You fixed it.
Here.
Does this really go on that?
Yeah. You like that?
No.
That's much better.
I don't like that at all.
Your radio was sounding like running minis. It's
I
fine
think
now.
they maybe had the little clip thing bumping up.
Oh, that could be. 'Cause it was going.
Hey.
brrrr. You know what? You have the same disease Indy had the other day. The best halt in town and can't stay there.
Oh.
Sit and stay.
Part of it too, like when I go to get in this carriage, I do
You
tap
pull
the
back.
reins and he's like, well, you said to go backward.
Well, that's what happened to me. I pull back a little bit as I get in.
He knows I'm
And then
getting in.
and
but
they go, oh yeah, you must want to go backwards. No, I don't want to go backwards. while I'm
That's
climbing
the
in.
smart ass part.
Back
of
up and run
pony.
me over, why don't you?
Well,
You said the correct word, it's a pony.
Yeah, when it's a beginning for him, he's very little.
He is. He's a, as Wilson said, this is a hell of a competitor. He's one of the best pro courses ever, and he's still a fucking pony. He says no matter what he's doing, no matter how beautiful he looks, you know his little pony brain is running on a track of its own.
I don't know, I kind of like the ponies better than the horses.
I like ponies. I keep telling him when I get old and weird, I'm going to have ponies. He said, you're already old and weird and you don't need ponies.
How much older and weirder did you have
I
to
know,
get?
I don't know. One time, we were standing with Sam Grunewald, watching Monroe Russell try to hit his four-handed black hackneys. And they were leaping around like frogs in hot frying pans. Wilson said to Sam, are you going to be like my wife? You get old and weird, are you going to have ponies? He goes, no, this is a quote, no fucking way, they're all little bricks. Look at those 4 of Monroe's, you can't hold them still long enough to get traces done up. They were going bing, 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 bing. Oh, they were monsters. He said, no fucking way, they're all little bricks. With his nice Dutch accent. And he's always so polite. No fucking way, they're all little bricks. Look at the shine on that mink. Yeah, he looks it.
That's amazing.
I don't grow mine. He looks lovely. All of a sudden, he's in the middle of Florida. He came out with a beautiful coat. Yeah,
Ah, that's right. You can sit here if you want to sit closer to her.
No, I'm good.
but he popped out this
'Cause I
window
don't
with
need
just a
to
beautiful
watch.
coat one
I'll
day.
probably be bouncing up and down anyways.
I figured because he was wearing
I have
Indy's
extra
lucky winter blanket.
No,
That
I'm
always
fine.
makes
I'm
your coats
just
look nice.
Florida acclimated
It fit
now
him
on
perfectly.
top
It was like it was custom made. It's pretty weird that he can wear
When
I didn't
we
think
went
about
to the
bringing,
tax
you know,
shops, I was looking at blankets, I was like,
long
I
johns or
should
anything
buy
like
one,
that.
and
If
then.
you change your mind, there's two in
That's
here.
just a Schneider's.
You had it on, you had the Indies on, and I was like, yeah, that one's actually probably better.
It's perfect for him, and he loves it. And it always looks good on anybody. It does good things for their coats. Indy brought three midweights, so I figured your horse could have one of them. I,
Like last year, I brought all of his blankets,
Yeah.
and then I dragged a midweight and a heavyweight blanket
that
around
looks
everywhere
nice.
I went.
Instead
I was
of-
tired of moving it.
You know,
well, that one really
but
fit him.
then
in.
I don't have, I can go.
That
I was like,
that
I won't need
that
these.
one was just in the bottom of the box. We didn't know he brought it.
Hey, Clary,
I-
you can leave Maddox in Italy.
I brought Indy's Rambo midweight,
Yeah.
and Wilson brought some other rag he had.
Hey, is it the most ridiculous thing ever trying to pack with Wilson?
Oh my God, I just don't.
I was in the trailer, he was trying to find stuff, and he was like moving stuff all
He's-
around, and
when he's looking for
somebody's gonna be really mad,
when he-
he moved like everything all around.
when he's looking for something, he's like a dog digging a hole. Stuff flies everywhere, and in the end of the house, he can't find it because he's a man.
Because it was probably in the spurt of stuff that went fly
and-
last time he was looking for
Yeah,
something.
and I walk in and I can pluck it out of wherever he's thrown it to. There are a few things that get away, but most I can find them. But and he packs, and so I pack everything and he puts in the trailer. But then there'll be some.
He unpacks it.
Well, or then there's something I specifically left on the top, so I could pack it like near me in the truck, so I wouldn't lose it. Well, and he's shoved it in some box on the bottom of the pile, so I find it when I get home.
We love
he's-
our husbands.
And he moves all the boxes all the time, and they're usually stacked in order.
Well, and I noticed too, like he was stacking boxes or something, and they were like in a line, and they had labels on the top, and he stacked them all up, and I was like, now how are you gonna know what any of the labels say?
Well, I do know the colors.
I was like, I think they have, there was a system.
There was a purpose, yes. And I know the boxes by the lids don't match and that kind of thing on purpose. So I can find the blue box with the green lid. Until he changes the lids.
Hey Donna, if you want, you can shut those doors.
We'll cut down the draft.
One's shut.
Yeah.
The other day he was,
Except for like in the middle of them, I have to drag that stupid cinder block behind it so they don't sway.
the other day he was standing at the door of the house headed out with his hand on the leash that holds the couplers and he couldn't find it. The leash and the couplers were hanging the first hook closest to the door so anybody can find it. His hand was on it and he couldn't find it. He said, where did you put that leash? So they don't blow away.
I don't know what happened there, but like it got hooked up funny and then that's why I get so mad when they have to either be open or closed.
If they don't do
They got
halfway.
hooked up funny and then it got ripped off of the track,
Ah.
the bottom. Which I remember that happening, the whole door got ripped off up in the machine shed.
Yeah.
And it was a huge project to put it back
Well,
on.
these are huge doors and
Yes.
they've lasted a long time.
Well, if you take care of them, they should
Yeah.
last, why would they not last?
Well, there's a little matter of taking care of them, that's the problem.
That's what makes it hard with, those birds are hard on the birds.
Mm.
Makes it hard with a bunch of boarders.
Oh, yeah.
Boarders are hard on them. Not all of them.
But mostly being a boarder entitles you to be clueless.
Yeah.
I'm always
Some
amazed.
people are pretty good out here, but some people are clueless.
It just, like, do you not live in a normal building yourself? Do you
Right.
not take care of your own stuff?
It's one thing that I really decided, you know what, I don't like teenage girls with horses.
No, I don't either. They're pretty scattered. Well, that makes a difference.
Yeah, I like my box, I can just make it nice and toasty
Nice.
for whatever climate I want.
It's wonderful. And your box always has footing. Like Paul
I'm gonna get new footing.
was really sorry to leave because he really enjoyed his lesson yesterday. Muttered about not wanting to be indoors, and then he said, I had such a good time, I want to do more of that.
Yeah. Well, and the footing I'm gonna straighten out with new in.
Yeah. New of the same?
Yeah. I basically, that's what I did, it's about every 3 years.
Well,
It was about every 4 years, it'll probably be 2 next year.
but it really is a nice set of footing.
More people, more horse traffic, and I had that draft here for 3 months. months last year, and I think that kind of,
Oh, that's like,
draft horses are really hard on things.
it's like
I
having,
think that kind of toasted it.
draft horses are like having a 4-bottom plow.
Yeah, and he was here, you know, and I basically just had to drive him inside. The time he was, you know.
Do they use him?
No, but you know what they did? They did buy another one.
Oh my God. Buying them is the easy part.
But the other one that they bought, at least, is not a show hitch horse.
Oh, well, that's
It's
good.
a farm, like,
Plow horse.
A hitch horse,
you know, with a big old work collar, and,
Yeah.
you know, and he's pretty, he's actually a pretty nice horse, and, but he's more work horse.
yeah.
Which is what I mean, but now he's like, oh, I think I'll put him together.
Oh my God.
I told her, I was like, you need to take this farm plow horse and fit him to a cart, and then drive him like 100 hours.
Exactly.
And then if you wanna do something else, go ahead.
And then they need to stop sniffing glue so they have some reality.
I kind of felt like saying, I need to give him like a logbook.
Yeah. And I want to see your logbook. I'll tell you when you've done enough to do anything else.
Sarah, you can probably leave Jedi in too, and just give him hay. He doesn't have any shelter, and it's really nasty.
Yeah, it is nasty out there.
Gross out.
Well,
If they
wind,
don't have shelter,
there's wind on top of the rain.
poor Diamond's out there with no shelter.
Uh,
But you know what? It's because he's mean.
yeah, those who are mean get what they get.
He's mean to like everybody.
He was-
He's
he-
like royal.
He was actually good yesterday. I was sure he was getting tired. She assured me he wasn't. 'Cause
Do you think that he should be on Trevor Cox?
I wonder.
I mean, and he had that injury last, we haven't
Yeah.
used him
I-
very, he's
I-
not in very good shape.
You know, he wasn't fit enough to sweat. Is what it
I've
was.
been leery to actually keep pushing him because I'm afraid at his age and that injury, it seemed really bad and it seemed like he came out pretty unscathed, but.
He looked perfectly sound. I'd forgotten all about his
I
injury.
think it was, you know, he's so kind of stoic, he
Yeah.
masks everything.
'Cause I-
Until like his leg falls off.
I think he was honestly getting tired. But she said, "Oh no, he can't be. I work him twice a week, every week." And I thought, well, you don't know that, because you don't.
No, obviously.
And there was no question about that in my mind.
I'm guaranteeing you can look at him and say, no?
No. And
You can see the horses that have worked.
he's not even fit enough to sweat.
That's the teenager trying
Yeah.
to pull one over on you.
Well, you know, you don't get by me, kid.
Oh, I know.
But it seemed fine, and
Well, and I've been kind of leery to push him working.
except
because
if
I don't
she's
wanna
gonna,
make him unsa- I don't wanna break
if she's
him.
gonna show him he's got to work. But was it a skin thing or a joint thing?
Well, I don't think his legs ever hurt, so it's hospital, like a basketball, and all the skin.
I remember, yeah, because it was an abrasion and compression injury. But I don't think Prevocox or Equiox is going to help that, because the Prevocox Equiox is for joint.
Well, so do you think as long as he's just sound,
I think
and as
it-
long as he doesn't seem like he's hurting?
I think it's fine. His feet are very short. I think from standing around the mud, and
Yeah, well, he's on limestone.
yeah, but he wasn't all winter.
Anyway,
Well, I didn't know when you got sick, but his
Yeah.
feet are wicked short to be barefoot.
and I talked to Dan last time about shoeing him, I think. Well, maybe it wasn't him, maybe it was Hank, never mind.
Yeah,
He just got put in the lineup.
yeah. I think his feet are very short, and that probably doesn't help. But I didn't see any unsoundness. He just began to be reluctant to go fast, and I thought he was tired, because we did a lot of turning and a lot of that kind of
Well,
thing.
he probably is, like, just not conditioned.
He's not. And particularly when he lives alone, he doesn't have anybody to fight
I
with.
don't know if it was just because of this year or like Hank, I had to. I got him, I have to put shoes on him, you know?
Yeah,
And because his feet are so short and pony.
yeah, he doesn't
They're
know.
like Lex's.
Yeah,
And the older he gets, it seems like the less tough they get. But, his feet would not grow at all.
well,
They
he
just
looks
wouldn't grow.
lean and like he lost a lot of muscle over the winter.
Well, he hasn't been doing anything all winter either.
But they don't lose their roundness unless they're hungry. The muscles may not be as strong or as fit, but they don't lose them unless they've eaten them. He got unround over the top and unround around his butt.
Well, he runs around outside.
Yeah, I mean, that horse as fit as he's been, isn't
He's going back to work.
Yeah, he's not gonna lose muscle unless he's not getting enough to eat.
Yeah, well, and he gets enough to eat.
Yeah.
They have pretty much a round bale, so. And it's him and Rainey and Winnie and Daphne, all his square mares.
I saw those girls.
Actually,
And they all look good.
Winnie looks pretty good.
They look very, Winnie,
You know, and I think Molly actually rides Rainey quite a bit. So I think what she's supposed to be driving Diamond twice and riding Rainey twice. And I think it might be like more 3-to-1
Yeah.
ratio, 3.5 to half
yeah,
ratio.
Molly, Rainey looks fit enough.
I think,
But I thought all of a sudden, I said, God, Hank's looking his age, he's lean.
yeah,
He's always been so robust.
The girl's letting him eat.
yeah.
He disappeared over the winter. And he's kind of never looked his age. He always looked young.
You know, it kind of looks a little lean though.
And he's more gaunt looking. I was surprised. Old fatty TJ is the same age, and he looks like ready to go to war. TJ has a really stinky job now. He's got a 9-month-old stud colt living with him. He says he's having to work very hard to get that one trained. But the stud colt's getting his pockets picked on Tuesday.
Well, maybe Hank is lean because the Falcon is next to him, so he goes and rushes the fence.
Yeah,
line,
he probably,
keep the mares away from Falcon.
that's probably what he's up to.
I bet you that's it, because he really actually, we worked him not that long ago, but Falcon's been here for, well, since I came back from Florida,
Yeah.
so that would be,
6 weeks.
that might be why it's,
Like last year at home, we had hay that looked fine and smelled fine, but it can't have been very nutritious because all 4 of our horses lost weight at home.
Yeah.
As soon as they got to Florida and got eating that damn candy, they all got fat.
Yeah.
The goal.
Oh, the gold. It's such a pain in the ass because you can't feed them anything because they get fat down there. And our hay came from the same source, but I think the first cut got cut late because of the rain, and the second cut never really got very big.
See, that made the accident, our hay, the hay is all from here.
Yeah.
And from, so I can't blame anybody but myself for the hay.
Well, but
But it's, last year sucked.
yeah, last year we did. The first cut was cut late.
And it's from, some of it's from like, the neighbors.
Yeah.
We lost basically the whole field because they had cut it.
You cut it before it comes river, yeah. Well, and I don't feed second cut, so I wasn't affected by the fact that second cut never got very big.
Well,
But-
we didn't even get a first cutting on
Yeah.
some of it.
But I noticed as soon as I got to Florida, we actually changed their grain to a lower carb feed, and on that hay they went like little porkers. And then they got to Aiken and Southern Pines, and they said, "Well, shit, they don't grow good hay here because they got spoiled."
Yeah. Yeah, my
Oh, they're
place
eating home hay
put the
now,
nose up to the
They,
hay back in
well,
home.
yeah, because the hay in Florida is
Yeah.
so fancy. They don't care which one you buy; they're all fancy.
They were
Even the
feeding
Timothy's fancy.
orchards down.
Do you think if I loosen this
1850 a
chain
bale.
one, it'll maybe change?
It might.
Yeah.
It's
You don't feed
Thinking
horses
maybe I
cheaply
should
in
get one
Florida.
of those like squishy sock things the chain can go in.
Yep.
'Cause it seems like, I don't know if it's,
Indy has a heavy gummy thing on his.
yeah,
But
I'm
let-
thinking of
Right,
that. I
yeah.
don't know if you
You
wanna
know,
loosen it
I'll do
one?
it. Yeah, Don will get it.
Because maybe
Is
if
it-
I loosen it one, I can get him to push into my hand a little more.
It's not. You don't really have leverage except it's got a high cheek, but it is right there.
Yeah.
And it doesn't let go and come back, let go and come back.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if it was tight or loose when I put it on, but it kind of feels like it's grabbing or something.
Yeah.
Like,
tight, I can barely get it off. I loosened it up.
If you can barely get it off, it's probably tight.
well, I don't, these hooks,
That crummy off.
you have to pull it way up.
Well,
So you
what
can
it
barely
is
get it
is-
on, and then when you let it go,
Then-
it's floppy.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is, it's not the hook; it's the curb chain.
Yeah.
Instead of a nice little
changed the
multi-link
bit
curb
the way
chain,
it came in.
it's a logging chain. It's a great big heavy chain, because I've got one that I can't.
Where the rain hooks up to the bed.
Yeah, a little double link that lies, and it's narrow, so it lies in the jaw, whereas these logging chains go top to bottom, they fill up the jaw.
Yeah, or maybe I'll get I think maybe they're for the
More
Dutch
cushy.
harness horses.
Yeah.
That big switch.
It's a big, I mean, it's
He
a,
doesn't have that big square.
no, he doesn't have a big
He's
chin.
got a pointy nose.
He's got a little, he's got a teacup nose. He can drink out of a teacup. But it's the logging chain is very hard to make seat in the hook. And it never really lies out flat in the jaw. And then it covers the jaw so it sort of makes this numbing tourniquet.
Because your front.
You know, theoretically with the rein just on the ring, you don't have any leverage. But well, there he's better.
No, I'm
Much
good.
better.
Yeah, but I can't even get, like, I don't have the feeling that he's going to my hand in the ring because it, like, the chain is, something's hitting.
You watch enough.
Well, and there is,
Get comfortable.
oh yeah.
US flag.
But you know, the cheek is high enough on that bit, there should be some mobility. But if the curb chain prevents mobility, then he just goes dumb. But from where the rein and the mouthpiece are, it's a long ways to the top of the cheek. So it should have some swing and some variation in pressure. But with that stinking logging chain on it, it doesn't.
He wasn't being bad.
No, he's just politely avoiding it. He's looking for the exit. So make sure you've got plenty of bend from the inside hind. He's pretty good about giving you the neck. Like Dale's horse was giving only the neck, too much neck. So it was good he watched yesterday to see the others. Make sure when you put an aid on, like you gave an aid on your left hand, but you gave him release so fast he didn't have time to answer it. So it's got to be take, hold, wait for him to answer, and then soften. Because actually, I like to have them learn to make their own release by letting go. So you put an aid out there and you let go too quickly, he receives it and then he goes, oh hell, I don't got to answer her, she just goes away. Ah, it's better. So if you take a moment and keep, just take the rein and keep it till you, there you go. That time your outside rein was good. It went on and it stayed on and you told him to slow down until he slowed down and then you could soften. But if you put an aid out and go blick blick, he's like, yeah, well, who needs to listen to that? That was, you were right to cluck. Because whoop, whoop, whoop. Sometimes he runs, and sometimes he says, oh, you want me slow or good, then I'll wallow.
Yeah.
We wanted to boing. Slow and
Take a
boing.
lot of work to drive.
You don't get time off.
Now you tell me that.
You don't get time off from driving this thing. Because he knows,
But it'll make you a better driver.
yeah, and he knows every exit. If an aid isn't clear, if it doesn't last long enough for him to receive it and react, he's like, yeah, we'll buzz off. Oh, he's so light and so pretty. He fools everybody, but he's a pain in the ass.
I'm gonna drive him a half hour.
Like there, he stiffened his neck.
Less than after this.
Just a little.
Yeah, and then
But,
she's gonna
yeah,
go an
and
hour
then when you went
for
to,
next one, and then I'll
yeah,
do
and
a
then
half
when you
hour.
went to turn him, he was like,
I'll
oh,
relax,
well, guess
and
what,
then
I'm
I
not
have 3
available.
o'clock.
So you have to be available for comment, my
Right,
friend.
I know that.
That's
I'll
better.
record these,
That's
because I'm
better.
anyway. I'm
There.
gonna go home
And he
and
talked to you, and he gave you the neck.
It helps to have it.
And then as long as you have the neck, you don't have to bother him.
Especially her
And if he doesn't give you the neck, you say, well, maybe I can make your life less pleasant. That's a good boy. Because he doesn't fight with that attitude.
Driving one.
Good, yep. And as always, the quest is to get him to come out of his withers. That was a nice bend and nice inside hind. He looked really supple. And really supple. I don't know what he thinks, but when you get that kind of supple, everybody loves it. Because you get all the motion. Like Paul's horse finally decided he could stretch all the way to the ground yesterday, and the hind legs were just going wild. There were some things. This is good. Good. Keep it. See, come up. Shake it back down so you can make your direction change with the neck staying down so he doesn't lose the swing or lose the suppleness. I spend a lot of time schooling counterband, bend, leg yield, serpentines, anything where he has to change bend, like when I do counterbend on the long side, I do correct bend on the short sides. So I keep positioning the neck and shoulders and keep positioning the body, and don't lift your damn head. Otherwise I get a lot of commentary from my partner. That's it, good. Yeah, good. Head down. Tell him head down. Ooh, not quicker, you monkey. You said put your head down. He said, how about I go quicker? You say, nah, I don't want that. Good boy. There you go. And then he gave because you were a little more persistent. So, ask. If he does what you want, that's great. If not, say, well, guess what? I'm going to stick with you till you get this project. Good boy. There you go. Inside hind legs, good, huh? Yeah, it's very nice. When you have white socks, it's hard to lie. A white sock with a black leg above it, pretty much we can see what you're not doing. That's good. I think every horse needs a lot of lateral work, either as counterbend or leg yield. So you get the hind legs, our goal in dressage is to get the hind legs together and under him, and his goal is to not do that. So we have to find ways to do it, which is why the leg yield and the counterbend. There you go. Over, over, over. No more neck bend than that. There you go. You said don't bend your neck anymore with the outside rein. He went, oh shit, I got to move my hind legs. And he did it. So he'll try to give you too much bend, and then don't let him. That's it. Good. Come. Yeah. Feel him say, and then okay. And that's how we, there. Good. That's how we get rid of that. I have to lift my head for direction change. Careful. Yeah. Not quicker though, eh? Yeah. Nice big steps.
Yesterday I said,
Yeah.
well, he doesn't really ever get heavy.
Well, he just did. But he did make glorious steps at the same time. You can also do your circle. I think he was too. You can also ask for leg yield on the circle. You can do counterband, anything to make the hind legs step up and under, up and under. There, good. And don't be shy about telling him to put his head down when you're going somewhere. Because he doesn't do what someone's going to, on a normal basis, call a resistance. He doesn't fling his head up, he just tightens his neck and goes, ha, you can't get in. Because if you can't get in, then he doesn't have to put out. Good boy, that's really nice. Now put the neck down if you change, neck down, ooh, there. Two things, he can't run, which he likes to do. Indy does this. When he doesn't want to make a change, he goes, how about we go quicker? And now that's not the answer I'm looking for. Good. Up there. Good, wait. Yeah. Shake the head down. Yeah, good. There. As the head went down and out, the bend went over. And then he does his little neck tighten thing again. And I understand that he has some confirmation deficiencies, but he can get through. Yeah, good. He went down to meet you. He went down to meet you that time.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, as soon as I can get him to actually go in to bring in.
Yeah, then it's easy. Right. But the thing is, he's clever, and he's built pretty enough. Unless you know him, you don't realize he's not in your hand. Because now he's going pretty much the same speed he's been going, but now he's going forward. Because forward. Yeah. He's a fake. He's a phony. But forward.
The judges might not even be able to see it, but it's like there's nothing to drive.
No, there's nobody there. And forward has three components. It has miles per hour, has engagement with the rear end, then it has the real stickler, which is the word attitude. The I want to do it. And when you have all three, you have forward, but he tends to leave the attitude in his back pocket. He's putting on the miles, he's got to track up cooperating, but he doesn't have the yeah, let's roll look. Now he has the yeah, let's roll look. And with him, that's part of warming up, is finding the go button. And then instead of stepping, he swings and floats. And your lengthen is way better, huh? And you didn't get any stiffness. A little bit when he came out of it, he stiffened. And he didn't do that bouncy thing when I say to you, don't get greedy. Because he was forward enough, he didn't need to get greedy. Good. And the kick is lovely. When he's not forward, he gives you a couple unlevel steps. Because he's not going. Now, careful of the neck. A little bit popped up. There's a crack in the door there. At who?
Whoever's throwing it now.
Oh.
There's bales of hay falling from the sky.
Oh, that's scary.
He's trying to look over.
And he's never seen bales of hay before. Good. Just as neat as a pin, huh? Yep, up. Good boy. So make sure you feel in your hand when you come out of it whether he stayed mushy, spongy, or whether he got stiff. When you come out of it, stay mushy. Much better. Much better.
Yeah.
He shortened the neck a little bit, but he really stepped under and lightened.
He also switched his tail at least.
Yeah, well, it's not a popularity contest. And then he's supposed to melt. And good, huh? He went to brace, and he said, I didn't need to do that. And he kind of melted into your hand, which he can do. I think that's why he gets along so well with Wilson. Because Wilson's hand, I find a little bit stiff, but they tend to all agree to let go of it and be soft. It doesn't drive my horse very well, but it drives this one really well.
Yeah. You should have gotten along.
They like each other. Good, good. And because he's already to your...
You can tell a lot by the person by the face of yours, bro.
Yes. He likes cranky horses like he likes cranky women. Doesn't want it too easy. Steady, 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 steady. If you feel him do a little power surge,
Yeah.
it means he's planning not to answer your request. And he's not going to buck boulder bad. He's just going to put out a power surge and kind of get away from you. Very nice. Very nice. And how even the steps are, huh? Try to make him soft. Very good. And he squished his body up on it. Oh, very good boy. Because I had my rear and under ready to work.
Yeah, sometimes I think it just takes him a little bit of warm up to get in the right mood. It's like when I go to the gym.
Well,
If I do any exercise at all.
he does
I don't know, I'll sit here for a while.
he does the work really well, but it is difficult for him. He has to get that peculiar up in the air butt
I
organized.
actually want to.
Yeah, he's got to get loosened up, let go in the front, which is always his last bastion of complaint.
Yeah.
Get loose in the front so he can make it all work.
I wish that I could take the brain out of a horse that really wants to try and put it in him.
Yeah, but part of his brilliance is that he starts out a little reluctant.
Yeah,
I mean, good morning. A lovely day, huh?
Penguin.
Witter just wants to. It is. Witter just wants to let us know it hasn't really let go yet.
Oh, this is a beautiful spring day.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
At least you
it's
have.
like a very, very typical Iowa spring day.
It is.
The grass looks like neon.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have flowers. We don't even have flowers yet.
Yeah.
I didn't want
We have a few leaves. I don't think anything's blooming yet.
Yeah, my,
And Jenny had some hyacinths up in this really sunny corner.
daffodils are all
Yeah.
blooming,
Oh, yeah, that was. When did you
and
take them out?
blossoms on the apple trees,
And in my room, Diane has
He's got
and cherry trees.
Yeah.
Diane had narcissus and forsythia and violets in my room, live ones.
Yeah.
But we don't have anything blooming yet. We still got snow in
What?
some places.
Yeah, you can open it. Go out.
Yeah, if you want to use it, you can use it.
Like, I opened his door. Well, if you wanna go through it, I said, upstairs.
Probably need to.
Alright.
Now so we're working so we can get our canter trot set pretty. Is your hand dying?
I hurt my finger.
Why did you do that?
That stupid blonde horse. We're going along all nice, and then she saw the shimmer of Dale's truck behind the trees, and then she did a whirly whirl. And I grabbed her mane, and my hand went around that big stupid long mane.
Long mane's a
So I
bad
held
shot.
myself on with my finger, and I don't think it just hurts sometimes.
I think so.
Stupid blonde horse.
Well, and carrying a whip in your hand doesn't ever help your hand. Although I've become a MCR whip junkie. I love her whips. They're just the right balance. I like to
This
go.
is Dale's. I need to go whip shopping because I lost my last whip at Live Oak.
Where'd you leave it?
The Gulch.
Oh,
Where did you say?
you left it.
One of the
She
houses.
lost in the second hazard.
It got stuck on on the harness or whatever, and then so I was driving one-handed and I couldn't get it off, so eventually I just like threw it. And then I just left it there.
I wonder if those are the same
Well, the
length as my
MCR, the Meredith
parent whip.
Rooster ones.
I was
caught-
pretty impressed though, because I drove one-handed with no whip.
That's very good.
All the way from around up over the bridge to C, and halfway down the bridge, and then I lost it, and grabbed my.
The MCR whips cost a little bit. I love the balance, and I like the lash, because it's got a tiny bit of heaviness, so when you go to land it, it lands where you pointed it. It's not like a bug that glanced off the horse, I plop it down,
Very light,
they're quite
Yes,
light,
they're
yes.
very light.
like the ultralights.
They're a little more substance than the ultralights. The ultralight's too light for me because I can't make it go anywhere. This one, when I land the lash, the horse doesn't question whether it's me or a bug.
I wonder if it's not so light, if it would be less breaky.
It is way less
I tend to
breaky.
break a lot of whips.
Well, the ultralight's like a sweetheart straw. You know, you break
It
that
has a
easily.
smaller handle too,
Oh, that would be
which
all
sits
right.
on your
Well,
ring.
I like,
your ring.
I actually like the golf handle of the MCR whip because I don't bother to try to close my fingers around. It just sits in my hand like a lump.
Yeah.
But Wilson won one. He wasn't using it, so I shanghaied it. And then I got one for myself, and I'm hooked. I can't drive with anything else. He traded whips with you one day when I wasn't looking.
MCR is like
I,
a friend.
I said, yeah, you don't have, you got my whip, give it back. So I didn't think you noticed.
I think one of my pair whips is an MCR, and if it's the right length, you can.
Yeah, what's
use
this
that
now
one.
there? Regine yesterday had one, with a little light for my taste, color-wise, but
Donna, are you really gonna sell me your last one?
Well, it's my pair. I've got 3 pair whips, and if I'm not driving the pair
Well,
anymore.
I was gonna say, I should sit down with you and just, go whip shopping, because.
she may have the whip you want.
Yeah, I need a new one anyways.
So Regine's coming to
I need a
Skunk.
new short one too.
With the pair.
Regine's planning to come to Skunk with a pair.
Yeah.
Cool.
She about can get into the ring and out again.
Okay.
Although interesting, you know, the Prince.
I asked her how she was, and she said it was good, and she was confused because you had a different training level test too than what she had.
There's only one training level
Well,
test.
it was the same one, she was reading it up, because she started at the other end of the ring.
Well,
She had her paper upside down.
Well, she told me the test you gave her, the circles were in the ends. I said, well, that's training level test 1.
She had a copy of it, it was training level test 2, and it had the circles in the middle.
Yeah, that's what I told her. And she was still questioning me, so Paul trotted out and got a dressage test book.
Yeah,
And
and then
she said-
she's like, well, is it the same one?
There's only one.
I was like, well, maybe you were just looking at it upside down. I used to do that.
Yeah, because she didn't,
My book is actually upside down.
well, it confused her because there's no A and C in here. But you know, M and H, make it pretty clear where C is, and F and K make it pretty clear where A is. And then the fact that E is only, the hinge in the middle of that mirror didn't do her any favors either. But we figured it out. I told her she needed a little more time in dressage ring.
Because you couldn't find E?
Well, I told her where E was,
Oh,
but then she couldn't remember that's where it was.
oh. It's either the beginning or the end of the pattern.
Exactly,
That's where B's not.
exactly. But she has no foot. The little Elias really isn't very trained, even though he's 17. Prince is quite well schooled. Yeah, but he didn't get any schooling. What was interesting is she couldn't get in the ring and get down the center line. She kept coming from the right, and Elias would fall off the pole. So I said, go out there and come in for the left, and they came in straight as a die, right down through. I said, that's the kind of thing you have to think about when I'm not there to tell you. If it doesn't work going right, take a left.
So she doesn't have a whole lot of, you know,
Well, driving for
she
her,
doesn't, I don't know, for some reason, she's been driving like pleasure shows and
but driving,
stuff like that for a long time, but they don't understand it.
well, driving for her is not a very cerebral function.
Yeah.
It didn't occur to her that you have to think about it. And you and I know instinct doesn't help.
It kind of reminds me of Jada.
Yep. Yep. But you know, you really,
Textbook, every textbook, you know.
you really do have to think about it.
Some people just,
It's nice. Very nice, very
I
nice.
think some people just learn differently.
Well, some people don't realize that something you work at. And
Yeah.
you watch people drive and it looks really easy because we don't move around a whole lot, but we're constantly doing something. Good boy, that was very pleasant. The trot was lovely. A little bit doesn't want to jump. Oh.
You're right.
What did you do, bang his head on the end of the shaft?
I don't know. No.
His brain came with acid temporarily movement. I don't know, he has little spasms sometimes.
We don't need those in a test. Got lots of power in that trot. It's lovely. So think about a canter you would want to ride on. You would want to ride on a canter that's up in front. So if you want to half halt it together, catch him on the up. There you go. And then the head flopping stops. He's like my Indy. He thinks you can about hauling yourself up with your head. No such luck. Haul yourself up with your hind leg. Good boy. So on the up, you can ask him to come up. There you go. There you go. You know, physically canter's relatively easy for him. He doesn't want to make a big science out of it. Good boy. Get full. And remember, each hand has its own brain, its own sensory system. No matter where you are, what you're doing, unless you're releasing a rein, your right hand should feel your left hand, and your left hand should feel your right hand across his tongue. That was better. He's got the beautiful transitions up he had yesterday. He hasn't quite fixed the down yet. The nice thing is everything was him. Yes, very nice.
You know what is weird though, like in marathon, he can have his downward transitions are awesome.
Yeah.
But
Well, you know,
he's in a different mode.
marathon's a different day.
It's kind of a different.
I'm always, it is. I'm always pitching my horse to stretch his neck to the ground. In a marathon, I'm reminded to pick it up. But, yeah, just pick it up and run. Don't be leaning on me. This is nice. Good. So think, jump, jump, jump. It's a series of little jumps. They're supposed to rock and jump, and what they tend to want to do is rock and dive. He's so light on his feet. And he's not using his neck to make the canter happen now. He was going like this to lift himself. Again, it's a matter of getting the back and the butt warmed up and getting him to remember, oh yeah, engagement is what works. And mine has a beautiful canter, but you'll never see him using it in the pasture. He trots and he gallops. But his canter's his best gait when you're working him. Good boy. Very nice. Wait, whoa, yeah. So you need to practice coming to collected or slow trot, so that because he's going to have to in the advanced test. But so he mentally puts in the come to slow trot button instead of flop along on your. Instead of
As soon as I think I'm going to do a
yeah,
transition.
he falls on his face and runs off.
I didn't even really completely ask him. I was just in the midst of thinking.
You were
about it.
preparing.
Apparently I did ask him.
Well,
I was preparing and I was like, oh, that's for
he read your mind, but then he comes to flop, and he has to remember that, like, as connected and good as his canter is, he has to come to a trot that's the same, which is a little more work. And so he's like, yeah, well, wait, better. You know, if his neck comes up a little bit for the moment, I don't mind, because the back end stops pushing and he goes soft, which is nice. There.
And then just let him putz around for a minute till he
Yep,
can get his.
yep, till the trot sets steady, and then he'll go again. But when he's ducking, we don't like that. You know, and I know this pony's fit. I'm not feeling bad for him. Oh, yeah. He'd go out and do 12 miles a day and not know the difference. In sand and muck and all kinds of stuff. Because he went over on the other side.
I think actually it makes him better.
He went over on the other side a lot where it's deeper. More sand.
Well, he's got tall legs. I mean,
He's got plenty of legs.
And he's got enough strength to stand with the really bother him. He just kind of really.
He boings on through it. But I know it's making him work.
Oh, yeah.
I think he likes winter in Florida.
Who doesn't?
I don't know anybody who doesn't.
Yeah, because we came back too early.
Surprise you?
You know, I'm not sure how late it would have to be for it wouldn't be a shock.
July.
Yeah.
June.
Trouble is, I really like home. I like Florida too, but, and like Sue Van Heis is coming home this weekend, and she normally stays till the middle of May. I said, so why does she want to come home? Paul said she's lonely. All her playmates are gone.
Oh.
He goes home all the time because he works. So he comes for events, stays several days, and goes home. I said, does she miss you? He said, no, I think she misses you guys. I know she misses him. Good. Nice body balance.
It was actually a pretty good downward.
It was, yeah, the whole thing was good. Because I'm looking to be able to watch him and sort of appreciate his forward go. And then, yeah, just see this, yeah, good. So just the legs change pattern, but the horse doesn't change. He doesn't fall on his face, ah. Thank you. He doesn't run off. And that's the balance we're looking for. Yeah, I think he might need a break. Oh, well. Well, you put your head down.
I was gonna say, he can,
He doesn't get a
he
break.
can still do a.
He doesn't get a break for resisting. But I think he might want to stretch a minute.
I will, but he's gotta be,
But he's got to behave
Gotta be
first.
nice about it.
you're not my boss, sir.
No, hardly. Oh, and that's nice little steps. Yeah, good. He said, well, damn. I found another gear I got to use.
Well, that's what he gets for,
Yeah, if you're being impudent, we have our ways with your type.
sometimes, you know, like, this cute little Western pleasure.
Well, I like that because it's got,
It actually relaxes.
well, it really gets his back. And it's actually got more pop than most Western pleasure. Used to be a little mare that always won the adult Western Pleasure Championship in Massachusetts every year. And she had the misfortune of seeing either Keith or me every week. So she only did Western Pleasure on Sunday at the show. Keith did dressage with her and I played hunter with her. And she had lovely, absolutely level, beautiful top line. But her feet and legs actually moved. She was a beautiful little mare with a cute little old granny who's obviously a granny riding her. And the judges just ate it up. Good girl. Boy, I mean, that's nice. Yeah, she was really cute.
Chester speed.
And she, well, Chester can do this, and with motion in his joints.
But he can't go any faster.
No, he used to go faster though when he was jumping,
Yeah, that's true. When he jumped, he did.
but he's kind of,
He just doesn't go out of first gear.
no, he's got his own arrangement now. But he's also old enough, he's a little bit entitled to do things his way. Well, he doesn't maim anybody. That mare, I worked her forward and Keith worked her forward. She'd go forward all week and then put on her big old long shank bit and go around with a big smile on her face, a big loop in the reins, just as cute as what. And the woman couldn't ride, but the horse carried her around really pretty. A very cute, tidy little woman that looked like a cute, tidy little horse. That's lovely. Good boy. He says, yeah, you gave me the punishment. Good boy. You forgot one leg, buddy. Just because you make a bad halt doesn't mean you get to fix it. He says, I'm really trying to be obedient. That's an interesting halt.
I was gonna say. we
That's
could
what I
feel
call a
it.
temporary looking halt. There. Hey, no B-A-C-K.
Yeah, his halt's not so grand yet.
Well, I like to fix the halt. I'm totally with the Cowboys with the halt and back stuff because it teaches so much balance and obedience.
Send him back.
But,
Yep.
yeah, send him off to my friend Jeff Wilson. But then, if they overdo it, they don't want to halt because they're always thinking back.
Yeah.
And we're looking for a forward halt, so I don't,
I did ask him
yeah,
that.
I don't object to what they do. I just think that it gets to be something that the owners do because they can do and they think they're doing something, but the horse is cheating on you. I love the obedience and the balance they're taught. I just don't want to do that particular act too often. Because we need a committed halt with what we do. That's a good boy. He says he did need to stretch a little. And the damn halt, it's the first thing they see that you do. And I like getting.
That's why I get so sucky on that's a bad story on my test, because, Marek wandered away when I did my first salute.
They hate that. Well, and I have the horse that halts and stands like a rock. And the other day he couldn't stand for anything.
Yeah.
And like if he gets his collection really good, it's harder to get his halt.
Stop for a second, let me put up.
But they're supposed to just stop.
Yeah, it falls out.
Ooh.
Yeah, that Barry Hunter, I talked to him after, and he said, practice the center line just like one-handed,
Yeah.
so then the horse isn't fiddling around.
Then he's not.
He had a pretty good halt, but then he was like, okay,
He had a good halt, and then he said, well, she must be going to go soon, so I'll start.
yeah.
The halt started out fine. Barry Hunter's very cool. I love having him. But unfortunately, I don't know if he's coming back next year.
Yeah, that's what he said. We asked him about his schedule, if he traveled and stuff, and he said he's in England and his wife needs the insurance and they don't cover anything here.
His wife really isn't well. She fell in the shower after we all left, and he didn't even. She didn't do a lot of damage, but she was home. She went to the hospital. She's home, but he couldn't even come to Southern Pines. He was a course designer, so Mark Johnson came and put it all together. But I think he used Barry's stuff because it was a very course.
Yes.
But Joan's kind of.
That's too bad.
It is too bad because we love having him around, and socially they both love being here. But she's quite fragile.
Oh, yeah.
She's a bad diabetic, and her feet don't work.
Well, it sounds like she's got a lot of.
She got a lot of, and she was the doer in the family. When he drove, she was the one that did all the getting ready. And he loves being here in the winter. He's best friends with Ray, and he usually comes and does Katie did, and stays for the Royal Winter Fair. And then he comes in as soon as we all get there in the spring. And they sold their house in Ocala. They don't own a home in England. Yeah, they sold the one in Ocala, but they didn't own the one in England anyway. They were staying with family in England for several years. So I don't know what he's going to do next. But we'll miss him if he's not here. So it's really nice having lessons with him.
Yeah.
He pushes us.
He seems like a pretty nice fellow, too.
Yeah, he was a college math professor.
All around good guy.
A great guy. He's a very funny man. He was a college math professor, so he has a great eye for angles and balance and cone stuff.
Oh, yeah. I can see that.
And every once in a while I say to him, I'll say at the end of it, so what'd you learn this week, Barry? He goes, same thing I learned last time. There's no cure for stupid. He said, and drivers sure are good at being stupid.
Oh, that's just people.
Yeah, that's people, exactly.
Whether they're driving a horse or
what's
anything
it
else,
doing?
that's just people. Turns out.
Yeah, people are funny creatures. I know you got to stretch, don't you? To stretch my little black body. I don't even know how long you've been working. You've been working for a while. Is Donna going to take that 10 o'clock lesson?
Yeah, I think she's gonna drive in.
Okay. Going to drive your horse?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Figured if she's gonna
Going to get a big one? She might as
get
well
a
drive.
big one, she might wanna know. If she's gonna get a large pony, then she better know what she's in for.
This is about as large as a pony can get.
Oh, figured didn't wanna make it like a Huron.
No.
Yeah.
Chiron's not a pony.
No. Hey Donna, you
That
wanna
was
drive a
more than
bigger?
driving them one
You
time.
wanna
and then
drive
go
a bigger one?
Yeah.
You wanna go to Live Oak?
Yeah.
Well,
you
he's already entered, yay.